And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings. Welcome to the Fire Cup Group A. Fire Cup number 4, of course. I'm your host, Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and these lovely plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. I do apologize for the abrupt start to the stream. We did, for a moment, we did for a while there, think that the stream did begin in an hour's time, but alas, it did begin here, and now we are jumping into our first series of the night. We're jumping into our first of many best of threes. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Clan Archive. It is ProtoZZavr. ProtoZZavr. There we go. But welcome, one and all. It has been far too long. Of course, we were live earlier with Master Swan Open, and now we are here with Fire Cup number 4. Big shout out to MiddleVK. MiddleVK has been organizing and hosting this event on a monthly basis for the past 4 months, and now we are here. Now we are live. Now we have joined as the English broadcast to bring you the group stage and the eventual playoffs, the finale here of Fire Cup. If you're curious what this event is, it is an event focused for the CIS region. We have plenty of amazing players that are rising up here to the challenge through the group stage into the rest of the event. Going over the overall groups, we have players like Nick Rat, we have Young Yako, we have UED Soldier, we have Art as well, Wayne, Nicked, Shameless, and many others as well. So we will be going through that after this first series. We'll get into it. We will get into it. For the time being, though, it is going to be the initial 2 racks. Oh, interesting. It's going to be a rack expand here with a second racks on the way. This looks like the beginning here of a 3 racks. Oh boy. So 3 racks opener from our Terran player. Meanwhile, Shameless back at home going to a gate expand into his own standard opener. We can settle in. Settle in from here, just making sure that everything is good on our end, hopefully. Make sure everything is as it should be. Beautiful. As behind this, it is going to be a rover base opener here from Shameless. I mean, check the vision. Shameless, he does see the Marine counts. He has yet to really confirm much else. As we did say earlier, it is going to be a 3 racks opener here, or I should say a 3 racks follow-up. A very heavy bio army. It's going to be a sim timing from ProtoZZavr, and Shameless back at home thankfully did open up Robo. Robo is a very safe way to play, very safe way to open up in TVP. Doesn't mean that you have much map control, but it does mean you have access to fast immortal production and fast immortal production, as well as fast Colossus production potentially as well. Here we go. So just setting up, just fixing up the title. Of course, before this, our last event that we casted live was Alima League. We had Alima League. We had, of course, MSO as well. Podcast. Just getting back into it, making sure all is as it should be. Just making sure. Meanwhile, we don't quite get a full scout into the main. I believe ProtoZZavr, yeah, he hasn't seen anything. He hasn't seen anything at all across the map, so no Reaper scout, no SCV scout. ProtoZZavr doesn't really know what he's going to be pushing into yet. He's still just building up. He's still just massing up an army here. More Marines, more Marauders. Stim and Combat Shields is almost done. Once it does finish up, then we're going to be sending everything across the map. We're just going to be rallying everything we can, moving out. There's a scan into the main, and now ProtoZZavr, now he knows. Now he knows about the Robo. Now he is aware of the potential Immortal production. Immortals are amassing as we speak. Already 1 Immortal, soon to be 2. And as time goes on, it's going to get better and better here for Shameless. This bio army designed to get damage done needs to move out across the map. If not, we need to see a transition. We need to see like a 3rd CC or some kind of, again, a next step here for ProtoZZavr. Here we go, he's moving out. I mean, that is a pretty hefty army. It's a hefty bio army here. Plenty of Marines, plenty of Marauders as well. And ProtoZZavr, he's pushing. Is going to be pushing. back at home. So far, so good. I mean, there's 2 immortals here. It's going to come down to the force fields, to be honest. It's going to come down to the force fields to slice up this army, to slow this down. And does he go for it? Oh! ProtoZZavr, he does dip in for a moment. Try to drag the army out of position. Nice force fields. Oh, they had to catch out a couple of marauders, a couple of marines. Shameless taking it slow. Is going to lose the pylon. Quick cancellation. Shameless, he cancels in time. ProtoZZavr, he backs off. He retreats from there. He doesn't try to commit. I mean, I do appreciate the respect that ProtoZZavr has for Shameless's army. He doesn't just ape in. He doesn't just throw away his army, knowing, of course, that it would be an uphill battle against all these immortals. So ProtoZZavr backs off, and thankfully, he at least maintains or retains a lot of his army. He retains a lot of units here. And now here comes that next step. Third TC, the rest of the production, the factory, into the starport, into medevacs. ProtoZZavr, he's going to be able to build up and get into the mid game. But what I will say is that Shameless is in a better position overall. Like, this stim timing was designed to get some damage done, and it didn't. And now Shameless gets into his third, gets into charge, and now Storm. He's working towards his splash damage, towards that higher form of tech, towards the mid game, and Shameless is going to get there faster. So Shameless is in a much better position, at least so far. Is it going to be there? So just make sure everything's set up. Likewise, we do see the third base now being landed. I believe there was an observer, unless he got sniped. Oh. Yeah, it looks like the observer did get sniped. Was keeping an eye on the main army. I believe did see that there was a third CC in production. And now again, there's still a lot of pressure on ProtoZZavr to be active on the map, to get some kind of damage. Shameless, he's all over this though. There's 2 observers in the center, Zelnagas as well. Shameless, he sees everything. Hallucination confirms. Now Shameless getting in position. Does respond. The main army pushing through the left-hand side. Shameless does have some units to defend, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the Marauders, they stim forward, they take down the Stalkers at the same time, the main army. Oh my god, the Storms! He runs into the Storms head first, and the Storms, they clean up the flank on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, over in the main, this drop is more successful. Did kill all the Stalkers, did kill all the Zealots, but Shameless still defends. Now, that was an expensive defense for Shameless. He lost, was at 4 or 5 Stalkers, so that was expensive. But still a better trade, and Shameless at least maintains the Immortals and the High Templar. There's 4 Head Templar in the War Prism. Here come the reinforcements, and now it's time to counterattack. And back at home, what do we have? Okay, there's 1 tank. Okay, ProtoZZavr, he does have 1 tank. He has a bio army. But as you can imagine, like 1 or 2 good storms, and Shameless can break through this. Can it break through this? Oh, speaking of no! Catches a rallying tank, moving forward. Not like this, man. Not like this. Shameless, he does threaten to dive. There we go. Massive. Oh my god. Massive storm on the bio army. Tank a little bit too far back. It's out of range. There's already brutal storms. And I'll say bust into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. ProtoZZavr caught between 2 rough positions. I mean, he can't really defend. Tank is helping, but even forces a bit of friendly fire. And how does ProtoZZavr, how does he commit? I mean, we could try to go, okay, I was going to say, we could even try to lift up and try to defend with some drop play, or just go for a counterattack, and the tank is exposed, tank goes down, boys being pulled into storms, brutal storms here on the SCVs, oh my god, everything! Storms everywhere, 30 SCVs go down, the bio army takes a brutal storm as well, and it looks like there is still 1 more storm available here for Shameless. He still has the storm. The storm is going to be used to zone instead. So we have a zoning storm. As Shameless, he does come in from behind, actually dropping up into the main. We do see ProtoZZavr coming in for a surround. Once again, a storm here on the right-hand side. Oh god, there's still so many storms. That was the final storm. Good concave here from ProtoZZavr. He can stem in. Yeah, he can collapse on the main army. Shameless, he stuck around a little bit too long. He was a little bit careless with those final storms. With the last 3, and ProtoZZavr does hold. He does hold, but at a cost of 46 SCVs. ProtoZZavr is completely all in. He's down to 20 workers. He's down to 2 bases. But he has an army. And Shameless, without some storms, he's in trouble. Colossus are on the way. Without splash damage, he's in trouble, I should emphasize. Yes, the boys are here. ProtoZZavr. He's here to save Shameless, the Protoss. Boys are being pulled from both sides as the overcharge. Doing what it can. But ProtoZZavr, he stims, he wins, he breaks the shield battery. He's going for the Colossus. Sorry, going for the Immortals. Colossus have arrived. But Colossus, they need some support. They got some good swipes though. And we need some reinforcements. There we go. This Desperation Warp in here from Shameless. Colossus so close to falling. Takes a lot of hits and oh, he steps in. He wants it. He gets it. Oh my god, he's so close to Colossus. One more shot. Colossus does go down, but there's one more Colossus and barely reinforces Shameless. He's holding. He's barely holding on. And again, it was all or nothing for ProtoZZavr. There's nothing back at home. The Colossus has made it. When I say that, the Bio Army steps in. Up, he wants it. He's gonna get it. Colossus is going down. Shameless. Does he tap out? Is this too much? You still have a couple of SCVs. They're helping. Diving into the main. Zelts and Archons trying to morph in. Feedbacks here on the Medivacs. But this army can kite well. We're down to 3 Marines and 4 Marauders. Sorry, 4 Marines and 4 Marauders. The Medivacs are out of energy. 1 Marine goes down to 3. Well, the Archons, they get a lot of shots off on the Medivacs. Oh god, oh my god. The Archons, they get a couple of shots off on the Medivacs. Bio Army drops down to the low ground. Gets into the mineral line. Probes are falling. 40 probe kills. Reinforcements have arrived. I think he's done it. The Terran, ProtoZZavr. He may have just done it. The 3rd Colossus comes in to reinforce. There's the overcharge. Ooh, keeps the Archon alive. Going for the final Medivacs. Oh my god, down to 2. It was close. Very close counterattack, very close all in here from ProtoZZavr. So close, but not enough. GG gets called as Shameless, he barely holds on, he barely bounces back, and whew, we'll take game number 1. GG. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh my god. GG, well played. Ooh, Shameless does take game 1, but that was a pretty intense game 1. In general, I would say that Shameless was in control of that game. He was taking better fights, he was taking better engagements, defended beautifully against the 3-racks, counterattacked as well. But if you remember, did overextend towards the end, did get surrounded, and in that surround, ProtoZZavr was able to clean up the main army. It cost him every single worker. He was completely all in. He had no economy, he had no sustainability, but I mean, it still got very, very close towards the end there. GG, well played. Shameless takes game number 1. GG. Now, for those that are maybe now tuning in, I do apologize for the more chaotic and abrupt start to the broadcast. But we are here, we are covering Group A of Firegrow Cup number 4. This is an event that MiddleVK has been hosting and organizing and funding for the past couple of months. Basically a monthly basis. So this is month 4. This is the 4th month of Firegrow Cup. And we have been watching from afar, you know, catching up with some updates over on Wikipedia. But MiddleVK, you know, he's a near and dear friend here to the CranKy Ducklings. He has competed in our events many a time in the past. He has started casting more recently, and he's casting this in his own native language. But it's really cool to see that he's also taken the role of organizing these events as well. Like MiddleVK, he is a very passionate, clearly very passionate member of the StarCraft community, now organizing these events, and yeah, it's been honestly really cool to see. Qualifiers were held over the past couple of days. We did not cast the qualifiers, but we are here for the main event. We're here for the group stage at least, and again, we can go over the group after this series. For now though, we're jumping in, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of a Crimson Court, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player that I'm not too familiar with, but his clan is representing Clan Archive. It is ProtoZZavr. He's here to save the Protoss. Can he? Can he save them from themselves? Get a very intense game one there. As the probe is moving out for a scout, trying to get a read on what's going on. Oh boy. And I'll most likely be sticking with MinoVK. For those that are curious, I believe three best of threes are starting at the same time. This is the group stage of the, this is the round robin. This is a round robin group. So we have plenty of matches happening at once. It is 6 players. 6 players all playing their matches at the same time. Oh boy. It's a lot of matches. It's a lot of StarCraft. It's a lot to get into. And I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. As a probe scout is going to be forced back for now. This time we do have a more economic open. It's going to be a Rax Expand here by ProtoZZavr. So far, so good. Okay, we're good. Looking for something. But yeah, so far so good. We're going to be settling in, and once again, same build. Once again, it's going to be the same build here from ProtoZZavr. It is going to be Rax Expand into a 3 Rax follow-up, working towards Stim, working towards Combat Shields, working towards a Bio Push. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have Shameless getting to his own, once again, Robo Opener. Oh boy. So far, we have a kind of almost an identical setup here from game 1, with ProtoZZavr going through Rax and with Shameless opening up Robo. So let's see if this time we can have a bit of a different outcome as what we saw in that last game. Go. Also, I totally didn't just wake up. Totally didn't happen. Before my alarms go off, I should probably turn off my alarms as well. That would be a good idea. Again, originally we thought the event was going to be in an hour. So we're just acclimating. Back at home, once again, Safety Immortal. Shameless, he hasn't seen too much outside of the bio count, but it's also very possible that, I mean, ProtoZZavr, this might just be his go-to build. His go-to build in this matchup time and time again, and Shameless, so far, he is countering it quite well. Or at least playing against it quite well. Let's get into the main reveals, the Immortal and the Robo. ProtoZZavr knows, now he's aware. Observer likewise moves out across the map, gets eyes on the entirety of the bio army, and Shameless is now aware as well. So both players scout each other, both players are fully aware of what is going on, and now it's all about the execution of the defense. It's going to be all about the force fields. Now, because of the map that we're loading into, both on Golden Aura and here on Crimson Court as well, the ramp or the natural base is quite exposed. You can produce quite a solid arc here, or concave, in towards the entrance to the natural and try to get some just so much DPS on the main army, unlike some of these other maps that have ramps coming into the natural itself. So because this is not going to be an easy defense for Shameless, what I'm getting at is that these 3 Raxes, they can be quite effective on Crimson Court. Here we go, the army has arrived. Boy, it's going to be, what, 6-7 Marauders, a massive amount of Marines. Shameless trying to bait out the Sim, ProtoZZavr trying to bait out the force fields. Doesn't commit yet. More reinforcements on the way. Behind this, the bays in production just now finishing up. So it is going to be a Colossus follow-up, not Storm this time. And ProtoZZavr, he doesn't commit this time. So once again, really patient, or does respect the army. He respects the army, really patient play. ProtoZZavr, he backs off. Last game, if you remember, ProtoZZavr, he did try to bust in and then did fail, did back up, and did preserve most of his army. This time he preserves all of his army. He does get the hell out of there, and he's expanding. Third TC factory to starport into the rest of his Raxes is getting into the mid game. And this time he will have that much more to work with. Likewise, Shameless, he's going for something more secure. Storm can be very flashy, and we saw how powerful Storm can be, but now we have some Colossus here. Now we have some more consistent splash damage. I mean, ideally you have both in the mid game, but for now we have one. We have Colossus, and this game does reveal. So remember last game, we had a more Storm-heavy composition with Archons. This time, ProtoZZavr does confirm the Colossus. Does confirm. Here we go, ProtoZZavr. He does pull back for the time being. Does pull away. Likewise, Shameless just going to be fortifying himself. So chat, at least you got some rest after the ladder. Ah, true. I mean, I was adminning MSO, but I did get a couple of hours sleep after MSO. Did sleep and literally just woke up. But we're here. We're good to go. As ProtoZZavr moving out with the double drop here towards the right-hand side. Does come across the fourth. But so far, Shameless is keeping up with the rotation. He did spot it with the Observer. Did spot the drop. Spitfire does respond. Spitfire responds, he keeps up. And ProtoZZavr does back off. And now we're entering a bit of a longer game state. Second starport is on the way for double Viking production, or I should say quadruple Viking production. Getting into mass Viking, into tanks, into more Marines, more Marauders. Again, we're headed towards a longer game state. Now, this is something that does happen quite often here on Crimson Court. What I'm getting at here is that because of the rocks, because this map is kind of split up into lanes, and because you have to work hard here to gain access to these fringe bases, it can be difficult to really push in and really difficult to be aggressive. What I'm getting at is it's easier to defend. Easier to defend the third because of the ramp, easier to defend the fourth base because you have to knock down rocks and maneuver over. Easier to scout with all these lanes. You have observers covering every attack path, at least towards the center and right-hand side. So we could be here for a while. We could be settling in towards maxed out armies. Now, as we're looking at maxed out, I was curious what kind of splash damage Shameless would incorporate. First, it's Colossus. Second is a second Robo and a Disruptor production. So it's not going to be Colossus Storm, it's going to be Colossus Disruptor instead. Oh my god. Colossus. Oh. Calm down. But at least we have our answer there as to what kind of army Shameless is working towards. Meanwhile, ProtoZZavr, we are just waiting for ghosts. Vikings are good, but, I mean, as you can see here, it's not all about the Colossus. There's going to be Disruptors on the ground as well. We will need a more robust ground army. Ghost Academy just now on the way, but what I will say is that this Ghost Academy is late. It's a late Ghost Academy for ProtoZZavr. I am concerned because of that. This does also mean that most likely ProtoZZavr will not move out on the map without any ghosts, which means he's stuck at home. This means that Shameless has map control. He is free to knock down these rocks, free to expand, free to max out himself, and that is a bit of a worrying thing. There's been no drop play. There's again, there's no eventual move out yet, not yet. Still waiting for those ghosts. Ghost Academy did just finish up. And where are the ghosts? Is what I want to know. Because ProtoZZavr is maxing out, and I don't think he's made any yet. 0 ghosts. Uh-oh. And he just starts 2-2. 2-2 feels a little bit delayed as well. Army moves in, never goes off. Zones the armor away, forces a stim. Second over. So far, nice dodges here from ProtoZZavr. No big connections. One Colossus falls. Again, because of the heavy Viking count, the Colossus should all go down. Really, it's about the Disruptors. It's about the Purification Novas. Novas once again zoning, just buying time. Tank out looking quite hefty. So it looks like ProtoZZavr is just trying to brute force his way through here. There we go. Finally, some ghosts are on the way. At the same time, Stellar Run By, it hits the third, it takes down the turrets. Forces back the entire army. Oh, there was nothing at home to defend. Zealots say don't get into the mineral line. They could have gone into the mineral line, but alas, they at least drag the army back home. Oh, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel on the CC. And Shameless, he comes in from behind. He's going to get a kill in the 4cc. Actually, kill them both. Yeah, 4th and the 5th base go down. Massive pickups. But ProtoZZavr maintains his main army. May have lost 2 bases, but the main army is still looking solid, and the Ghosts have finally arrived. The Ghosts are here. EMPs are available. That's going to be 4 EMPs for ProtoZZavr. He's pushing. He's pushing out. DT's on the left-hand side. Making their way towards the 3rd, but there are turrets in position. DT's a trade against the tanks, but not the best trades here from Shameless. Look at the back off. How many disruptors? 7. 7 disruptors for Shameless. Army does threaten a dive. Nervous go up. No major connections. Shameless pulling back for now. Prism will rotate towards the natural. Vikings are keeping up. For the most part, the Observer does go down. Meanwhile, Shameless just taking more expansions, more bases. And now he's getting ready for his Sky Toss. That's +1 air attack on the way. Stargate as well once it's done. Fleet Beacon into Tempest. Into Sky Toss. Nice snipe on the War Prism. But it's going to be on ProtoZZavr to scout and realize what's happening. Once he sees this Sky Toss transition, we need less Marines. Less Marines, more Vikings. Less tank. The tanks aren't going to be helping much as well, but he's committing to more tank production. There he goes off. I mean, Marines can do well against Carrier, but again, I'm making the assumption that it's going to be Tempest instead. Nova's going up. They get a Ghost. Snipe onto the Ghosts. Shameless just posturing. His win condition deny the 4th. There is no 4th expansion. ProtoZZavr does need another base. He does have a bank to work with, but again, he's going to starve out soon. There we go. He's pushing forward. Bringing forward his tank line. More bases. The Observer does spot all of this. Shameless trying to rotate. Up. Gets 1 tank. Gets 2. 2 tanks go down. Observer does pull away. Out of range of the scan. Shameless rotating into the 3rd. Oh, massive EMPs here on the Stalkers. Oh, gets a Colossus. Does get a Colossus at the same time. Massive DT counterattack. Oh, trying to come in from behind. Is there Blink? There is. There's Blink for the DTs. Shameless looks like he's going for the natural. Oh, the turret does confirm. ProtoZZavr is aware. Shameless rotating from the left-hand side. Oh, Nova goes off. DTs are still looking for another way in. No major Novas yet. Oh my god. EMPs on the Stalkers. A couple of Vikings get picked up. DTs they race back home. And so far, ProtoZZavr, he finally establishes his 4th. His 4th base is getting up and running. 5th base on the way. ProtoZZavr is holding his own. Now we're getting to our fusion core. Let's go. This should be for Viking into Liberator. Freedom and Liberation zones are going to be ideal. They're going to zone away the ground army and force the Viking commitment into Sky Toss. So Liberators would be ideal, but ProtoZZavr is still getting there. And unfortunately, ProtoZZavr, he's maxed out. I would love to see him throw away some of these Marines. I do think that this high Marine count is hurting him more than anything, more than helping. He's trying to engage. Like, getting a secure position here with some freedom zones would be ideal. And he's attempting a counterattack. Nice EMP. The Tempest kind of getting there. The first Tempest is in production. Sorry, Mothership is on the way first. Then into Tempest. DT's coming in. Oh, they do get spotted. Main army pushes forward. Nova's going off. That's a kill in the command. Oh my god. It's a kill in the command center. ProtoZZavr is getting a fresh mining base. DTs to hit the flanking army. Oh, bad they get a ghost. They get the hell out of there, but we bust into the mineral line, forcing a recall. Army recalls over. A couple of disruptors left behind. Shameless, so far he hasn't made any big blunders when it came to his army control. He does bring everything back together. Pushing through the center. ProtoZZavr heavily overstimmed. Up. Nova's going off, no major connections. Nice splits here from ProtoZZavr. There we go. Finally, one ghost goes down. Liberator range is on the way. ProtoZZavr still committing to mass bio. And he's going for a base trade. Recall is on cooldown. Remember, Shameless, he just recalled here to the right-hand side. So we're trading a base for a base. Tempest, they rally into the Marines. Marines, they kill Tempest. They do it. Tempest full. Main army as well. Where's the mothership? That's what I want to know. Mothership is back home, which means there is a defensive recall. Main army pushing in. Shameless pushing towards that center base. The tank getting a lot of hits off though. Takes down some stalkers. Novas, they will connect. That's some connections here on the tank, on the planetary. And it looks like Shameless, he doesn't recall. He doesn't recall back home. He commits. Losing a little of his production though. Shameless, he can reinforce with warpins. He can still somewhat maintain his army. And he's not slowing down. Let's go. He's throwing down extra robos. Proxied across the map. Trying to get his production going. Yeah, big cloak here on the army. Bust into the main. Came to the production. Scans revealing more bases. ProtoZZavr, he's not stopping. He commits. Remember to hydrate. He does find the robos. And meanwhile, Shameless is supply blocked. Oh. Yeah, big supply block for Shameless. Does he have a recall? He now does. Does have a recall. So he can try to shut down the main, take down all the production, and then recall back home. ProtoZZavr, he only has a bio army. Does he have any ghosts? The answer is no. No ghosts here. Only Marines, Marauders, and Vikings. As ProtoZZavr is floating his CCs over. And Jesus, Shameless has just so many expansions. He has every base on the map. And Shameless doesn't have to recall. Yeah, he just turns around. He's walking back home. ProtoZZavr stimming in. Does get another expansion. But Shameless, now he can fight. And ProtoZZavr cannot. He cannot engage with this kind of army. Oh my god. There's just so many disruptors. So many zealots. No EMPs. And Shameless, he can just collapse in. Big cloak on the army. Oh my god, the force fields. The slow zone as well. And ProtoZZavr, he's just running out of steam. His army is bleeding out over time. Shameless, he blinks in, chases him down. ProtoZZavr is down to a handful of units remaining here, and that's his final stand. GG, Shameless will take the series 2-0. Will get his first win of the group. GG. GG, well played, Shameless. He will take it in the end. He will take the first series 2-0, but a shout out to ProtoZZavr because he was, again, holding his own. He was being very patient, especially here in game 2. What I was mentioning before, though, is that ProtoZZavr, he was stuck with a subpar army. He was getting ready for a Liberator transition, but he was stuck maxed out, and he wasn't able to refine his army either. Likewise, you can make the same argument for Shameless, where he was trying to work towards Skytoss, but couldn't quite embrace it either because he was stuck with a Gateway army, but Shameless's army was superior to that of the Terran. And alas, ProtoZZavr could not quite get to his final form. With that, GG. GG, well played. Whew, that is going to be our first series in the books. And now let's take a moment here to have a look at the bracket itself and figure out where we are. And what's coming up next. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves.